Topuria will be moving up to 155 pounds.
Topuria will be moving up to 155 pounds.
I'm absolutely fucked, brother. I might as well just retire.
Well, the never-ending discussion between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev is it's still going. I mean, Islam Makhachev tweeted at Ilia Topuria. I don't know if this was random. I don't know if this was in a response to something. I don't know if something came out first. I don't know, because I know Ilia's been doing a couple of interviews, which we'll talk about after the tweets. But he says, difference between me and you, that I cleaned top list in my division. Moved to next, but you ran away from two contenders who had consecutive 5 to 9 wins in featherweight division. You are nobody in lightweight division, just a big mouth from Spain with a nice haircut. Go get 1 W and we can talk, boy. Now, obviously, this is Ali Abdullah Sleazebag, who's clearly tweeted this out. I don't think Islam Makhachev would say these words, but here's the thing, right? Islam Makhachev is a grown man. Islam Makhachev can control his own damn Twitter. So this excuse of, well, guys, this ain't Ali, or this ain't Islam, this is Ali. I mean, look at the comment right here. You know, fuck you, Ali Abdelaziz, you dirty scumbag. It's like, bro, Islam Makhachev can just say, hey, don't tweet, don't tweet under my account. So he's allowing it. But let's actually break down the tweet. And assuming Islam Makhachev is okay with this tweet and whatever the case may be. So he says, difference between me and you, I cleaned the top list in my division. Now, he really kind of didn't clean his division out. I mean, it's tricky, right? Because getting to the belt, he beat Arman Tsarukyan many years ago. Before Arman even had his sort of... It was a baby version of Arman Tsarukyan on short notice. Now, I'll still give him credit for that win because you still beat Arman, but it's not the same version of Arman Tsarukyan. I mean, it's a much younger version of Arman, but still, you could still give him credit, right? He beat Dan Hooker. I'm not going to give him a lot of credit for the Dan Hooker win. Now, I know Dan Hooker's been on a resurgence, but still, I mean, Islam Makhachev, you beat Dan Hooker, but it's just like, okay, fine. I don't know. What do you guys want me to say? It's Dan Hooker, like... it's a weird one because Dan Hooker was on a big losing streak. Then he's now on a 3-fight winning streak against guys like Jalen Turner, Mateusz Gamrot, and I want to say Claudio Puelles. It's like, excuse me, the names are not insane. It's not as if the names are like, Max Holloway and fucking Justin Gaethje, who he was supposed to fight, who I think he would have lost to, but obviously we'll never know probably. And I know he beat Bobby Green. Then he got a title shot off of the Bobby Green win, by the way. Then he faced Charles Oliveira, who he beat. That's a great win. That's probably his second best win. Then I want to say he faces Volkanovski the first time. Then he faces Volkanovski again. Then he faces Dustin Poirier. Then he faces Renato Moicano. So I don't think I'm missing a name there. So it's kind of, I mean, Moicano is not really, but that was on short notice. I get it. And then before the Moicano fight was Poirier. I mean, I'll give you credit. It's Poirier. It's still a good win, but it's a very past his prime. Maybe not very past his prime, but it is a well past his prime version of Dustin Poirier. And Dustin Poirier, even in his prime, probably still loses to Makhachev because though he is high level, his crutch, his Achilles heel has always been grappling, has always been submissions, has always been the submission threat of guys like Khabib and Charles Oliveira who have all submitted him. So I give him credit for that win. It's a great win, the Poirier win, but you kind of should have destroyed Dustin Poirier in my opinion. Then the second Volk fight, I don't even want to count because it was a 1 week's notice featherweight Volkanovski coming off of the couch. He was fat in that fight. He was pudgy. This was not the same Volk. Then the first Volkanovski fight, he absolutely has a close fight with Volk, a bit of a war, a razor close fight with Volk. I say that's his best win. You know, having a razor close fight with Volk, but still beating him via decision. Wasn't like a super impressive decision or anything. It wasn't like, whoa, he fucked up Volk on the feet for 5 rounds. It was like, oh, you had a war with a featherweight. You know what I mean? But I'm kidding, obviously. Volk would probably do good at lightweight if he decided to move up. Maybe not now because he's older, but like around that time. But still, you beat Volkanovski, who was a featherweight. But it's still your best win, funny enough. I don't discredit him for that win because it is his best win. And it's his best fight, too. Then before they beat Charles, I mean, did he clear out his division? No, he did not clear out his division. You still had names like Arman in a rematch, obviously. A different version of Arman, a much better version of Arman. You still had names like Justin Gaethje, who I wouldn't have cared to see that fight because I know how that goes, but still. You still have names like Paddy Pimblett. Again, I mean, you didn't clear out your division. And this is why this is me personally, am against the idea of of Islam moving up. Me personally, I know some people. Now, I'm not saying he shouldn't move up eventually. I'm saying right now is not. For me, welterweight is so unbelievably stacked. There's so many guys that deserve title shots that should be fighting each other. That there's so much to figure out at welterweight. Whether it's Shavkat, whether it's Ian Gary, whether it's what's next for Bilal, what's next for Usman, what's next for Buckley, what's next for Sean Brady, what's next for Protez. There's so many top contenders. Michael Morales is probably going to beat Gilbert Burns. There's a lot to figure out up there, right? So to now throw in Islam Makhachev onto the equation, it fucks up things a little bit. And it fucks up things a little bit at lightweight because there are still names like Paddy Pimblett who I would have been very interested in seeing Paddy Pimblett versus Islam Makhachev had Paddy Pimblett had beaten Justin Gaethje, Charles, or Arman, or any of those names. I would have loved to see Pimblett versus Islam. Now we'll never get it. You know? Obviously, the obvious fight being Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev. Another fight we'll never get. It's not as if it's a Pantoja situation, you know, where you got a guy who's just fucking destroyed everybody, beating everybody twice. Pantoja's practically lapped the division. He's beaten Moreno 3 times. He's beaten Car France already way back in the day. I know it was on Tough, The Ultimate Fighter, Tough, but still. He's beaten Manel Cap already. He's faced Figueiredo. He didn't beat him, but he's faced Figueiredo. And he's at bantamweight, but still. He's lapped the division like twice practically. You know, so it's not that's not the case with Makhachev. Makhachev still had a lot of good names he could have fought. You know, and I know the Makhachev fans are going to come in my comments. Look, I have nothing against Makhachev. He's one of my favorite fighters. I believe he's probably a top 3 GOAT right now. I think he's better than John Jones. Fuck John Jones. He's a fucking steroid cheat. I have Makhachev over John Jones. Actually, I don't know about that. Maybe. Fuck it. I don't care. I don't care about John Jones. Fuck him. But I love Makhachev. But at the end of the day, what kind of MMA content creator would I be if I didn't call him out? If Ilia Topuria did or said something stupid, I'd call him out too. And I have called him out for it. And, you know, when he was sitting out waiting for a title shot, I believe I've called him out. If I didn't, I'm calling him out now. I think that was kind of stupid that he was saying, oh, I won't accept any other fight unless I get a title shot. I think that was pretty stupid. Though, to be fair, it worked out for him, so maybe it wasn't that stupid. My point is, he hasn't cleared out his division. I think that's a really dumb narrative. You know, I don't agree with that. He says, but you ran away from 2 top contenders who had consecutive. So he's speaking about the fact that he's claiming Ilia Topuria ran from the 2 contenders being Diego Lopez and Movsar Evloev. Now, Diego Lopez, we saw how he did against Volkanovski. You know, no offense to Diego. He's one of my favorite fighters in the UFC right now. Legitimately, right? I was rooting for Volk, but I would have not been angry if Diego would have won either. But to say that Ilia was running from Diego Lopez, it would have been a good fight. It would have been a cool fight. But it's like if I said, "Oh, Islam, you ran from Justin Gaethje." That sounds stupid, right? Because we know how that fight goes, and I think the same applies for Ilia versus Diego. We know how that fight goes. Ooh, a guy that's a brawler and doesn't move his head and comes in a lot, crashing in. Come on, bro. Oh, I wonder how that goes. A guy who doesn't move his head and is a brawler against Ilia Topuria. I wonder how that fight goes. If Volkanovski can piece you up, and I know Volk's style is not the same as Ilia's, but if Volk can land so many good shots in Diego, what makes you think Ilia would not put that guy's lights out in 3 fucking rounds? I'm sorry. You cannot say, oh, Ilia ran from Diego. Ilia ran from Diego. He ran. He ran from Diego Lopez. And then Movsar Evloev is the other name. Now, first of all, Evloev was not going to get a title shot next. Diego was, right? So you could say, oh, he ran from Diego, but I don't think he did because I just explained it. And then the other name is Evloev. Now, and then obviously he doesn't mention him, but Volkanovski as well, but I think he would have KO'd Volk again. I'm sorry to say that. He would have, let's be honest. I love Volkanovski. He's my second favorite fighter of all time, but he probably would have been KO'd. Well, he might be my third. My second or third. Nonetheless, I just... The Evloev fight, right? So he says that he ducked Diego, right? I explained that. And then Evloev. Movsar Evloev is really good. He's really good. Don't get me wrong. He is a pedo, but he's really good. He is. I mean, what do you want me to say? But he's really good. But at the same time, when you have split decisions with Arnold Allen, when you have split decisions with Aljamain Sterling, and I don't know who his other one was with. He might have had a split with Diego as well, to be honest. When you have razor close fights, every single fight of your UFC career except like 1 or 2 in the early days, how am I supposed to believe that this guy... I'm sorry to say, I would have liked to have seen the fight, but let's actually be honest, guys. How do you guys think that fight goes, Evloev versus Ilia? Be honest. A guy with no submission threat. Hey, you guys watch JDM versus Bilal, right? Now, just picture that, but picture JDM is Ilia and Bilal is Movsar, and that's your fight. Oh, Movsar with very little submission threat, very little power in his hands. He's a decent striker, but he has very little power. And Ilia Topuria, come on. What are we doing here, guys? Yeah, he ducked Movsar to fight basically a bigger version of Movsar in Islam. What? I ducked Movsar Evloev to fight Islam Makhachev. Now, you can make the argument, because I've seen people make this argument. I've seen this argument a lot, which is, you know, how did Islam duck Ilia if he's fighting JDM, which you could say is a bigger version of Ilia? Here's the thing. There's a lot of reasons why I think he did not fight Ilia, and a lot of reasons why I consider it quote-unquote ducking. The first reason being that a guy like JDM is not going to talk shit. And I've spoken about this. He's not going to talk shit. He has no personality. He's just like, yeah, I'm going to grab the cash and dash. He has no personality. He's just Jack Della Maddalena. He doesn't talk shit. He doesn't get into verbal he's just JDM, right? He'll shake your hand at the press conference. He'll fight you, whatever the case may be. Now, Ilia Topuria is the complete opposite. I mean, look at the tweet we're about to read right now. Ilia's response to Islam, and he's done a couple of interviews today as well where he's absolutely shitted on Islam Makhachev. He's called him a coward. He said he's ran from him. Said he'd KO him. Said he's every name under the sun. You know how that fight... Islam Makhachev has never faced a guy who's talked trash. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's been a couple of little funny jabs, brother, Australia don't have wrestling, he said to Volk, and he's had moments where he's kind of talked a little bit of shit, but nothing like what it would be against Ilia. Ilia Topuria would truly attempt to get in Islam's head. Whether or not it would work, he would try to. You're not going to get that with JDM. Now, at the same time, JDM's grappling is a lot more unproven than Ilia's. Ilia has submissions. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. He has, I want to say, 7 submissions in his career. That might be too high. It might. He has multiple submissions. Let's say that, and he has a submission over Bryce Mitchell. He's proven to be able to use grappling himself a lot more than JDM. I've never seen JDM shoot a takedown. I've seen Ilia shoot takedowns. And I've seen him complete takedowns pretty well as well. So that's another factor as well, is that, you might not want to fight a guy who has more proven grappling than the guy who doesn't. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, JDM just showed his grappling is pretty good, but still, it is what it is. I don't know. I think it's what I fully consider ducking. I mean, what else are you gonna call it? What else are you gonna call it? I mean, it's clear. Like, how is he? Here's the thing, right? That upsets me about this. And we'll finish reading the tweet, right? You're a nobody in lightweight division, just a big mouth from Spain with a nice haircut. Get one W and we can talk, right? Get one W and we can talk. So is JDM making you get a W before fighting you, Islam? Is JDM saying, hey, Islam, fight Ian Gary first, then we can talk? He's not doing that. He's letting you move up from lightweight and face him and step in front of... You know what's insane about this is that at lightweight, there's no clear contenders. Everyone is like on a one-fight winning streak, or Arman. He should probably get the title shot, but he pulled out, and obviously they're not going to give it to him. I mean, he just pulled out of a fight. Everybody's kind of in these weird positions. Patty's coming off of a Chandler win. You're not going to give him a title shot. Charles is obviously getting one, but that's because of the circumstances. He would have not been getting one if we would have just got Ilia Islam. So my point is, lightweight is kind of in a weird spot, right? Ilia was the guy. There's a little bit of arguments for other people, but I'm sorry, Ilia was the guy. Ilia was the fight. At welterweight, there's names like Sean Brady, Ian Gary, fucking Joaquin Buckley, you know what I mean, who've put in way more work, just put in way more work than Islam has at welterweight. But he gets to move up and get the title shot. Now, I'm okay with that, but I'm saying you can't say, oh, Ilia has to earn it, but then Islam doesn't. And if your argument is, oh, but Islam has 4 title defenses. He has 4 title defenses, and Ilia only has 1. Yeah. Ilia Topuria's title defenses, Ilia Topuria's title defenses and his title win. So he has 1 title defense and 1 title win. Volk and Max Holloway. Max Holloway, the same guy that is highly ranked at lightweight, by the way, and KO Justin Gaethje, a top contender. But he was drained. See, we can keep doing these excuses of, no, but Holloway was drained. He was cut. The point of the matter is, it's never been an issue until now. It's never been, oh, Ilia, you have to fight one more. You have to get another title defense. How many title defenses would you guys have wanted Ilia to have then? Tell me in the comments. Let me know. He has 1 title defense against Max Holloway, a guy who's never been KO'd, and he flatline KO'd him. He knocked him out cold. And before that, he knocked out one of the pound-for-pound best fighters, Volkanovski. You can make excuses about the Volk fight, fine. But the Max Holloway one, what's the excuse there? Oh, but Max was a little bit weight drained. You can find excuses in everything. You can find excuses in every win with these guys' careers. It's at the end of the day, it's never been an issue. It was not a problem when Adesanya moved up to face Jan Blachowicz. It was not a problem when Cejudo moved up to go for his second belt. It was not a problem when Conor moved up to get his second belt. It was not a problem when Cormier, I don't know how he got his second belt. It was not a problem when all these other double champions tried to get their second belt. It was never a problem. It was never a problem when Volk went up to face Makhachev. That wasn't a problem, right? It was never a problem. Now all of a sudden it's an issue. Now all of a sudden, oh, Ilia has to fight. How many more does he have to fight? It'd be like, oh, first you got to beat Diego. Oh, he beat Diego. Oh, no, but now you got to beat Evloev. Oh, he beats Evloev. But now you have to beat fucking Gene Silva. He beats Gene Silva. Okay, but now you have to beat... By the time he would have, quote-unquote, earned it in your guys' eyes, Makhachev would have moved up. And he has already moved up. And I've explained this so many times that Islam Makhachev clearly does not have an interest... did not have an interest at staying at lightweight much longer. So when I kept seeing people like, brother, Ilia has to earn it. Ilia has to earn it. For what? Why waste that time? It's so funny in this tweet. He says, get one W and we can talk, boy. Get one W and we can talk. You are moving up to lightweight. There's no we can talk. You're gone from lightweight. That's it. You're moving up to welterweight. I said you're moving up to lightweight. You are moving up to welterweight. That's it. The chance is done. Why do you want to say get one win and we can talk? He signed this fight. He's fighting Charles. Why are you still talking shit about Ilia? You're the one that's facing JDM next, right? I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's like I thought we've moved on. I thought you're up at welterweight now. But it's like it's crazy to me, man. It's crazy to me. It's like it's just crazy. It's just crazy to me that the excuses can keep piling on. Look, if Islam Makhachev would have destroyed Ilia Topuria in the first round, I would have not said shit. I would have not said, but Ilia was a featherweight. I would have not said that. Maybe the other fans would have. I would have not said that because I'm actually an intellectual. I'm an actual. How do I say this without sounding like ego? I'm a conscious fan who can understand that that wouldn't have been a fair assessment of that victory if I would have just said, look at him, he beat another midget. Because it's crazy because I mean, I don't say this over the Volk fight. The Volk fight was not only his hardest fight, but it's considered his best win. So a featherweight is considered your best win. I don't know. I don't know. This whole situation has baffled me. We can read Ilia's tweet. Yes, I've liked his tweet. I don't give a shit. He cooked Islam Makhachev. And honestly, though, in all seriousness, it's just crazy. It's just insane that, Islam Makhachev. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't even know, man. It's just this whole situation has confused me so much because you make the guy earn it, right? You say the guy's got to earn it. And it's crazy because he said he was going to retain, that he wasn't going to relinquish his lightweight belt. Bullshit. Fuck that, right? Look, I think John Jones should be stripped of the belt. But I think it's kind of fair for the UFC to strip Islam too, if that is what they really did. Unless he just willingly vacated it. I think it's fair. I just think they should have stripped Jones and Islam. I think it's fair because if you look at it, right, the guy fought in January. Islam Makhachev fought in January, took no damage. Zero damage against Renato Moicano. Zero damage, right? We haven't seen him since. Now, I know he's been going through Ramadan. Ramadan has been well done, bro. Ramadan finished back in March, right? I'm pretty sure. So you could have been lightly training. You could have been looking at your next fight by then. Then as soon as Ramadan finishes, get into your next training camp. But no. We now have to wait to see this guy potentially in September or October. For what? It's insane to me because he literally could have just fought Ilia and then moved up. That's all we wanted, man. That's all I wanted. That's all I know a lot of you guys wanted. Well, a lot of you guys. Because there's a good portion of you guys who are just Islam Makhachev fans, which I am an Islam Makhachev fan. I don't know how many times I have to say this. It's like the Dagestani fans get in my comments talking about I'm all these different things. Then they want to talk about me personally. Like someone was like, I said that Islam was ducking Ilia, and someone was like, Islam is ducking your mom or something. What the fuck does that even mean? Like, bro, shut up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, these people, they're mentally insane. They can't accept that their favorite fighter, Islam Makhachev, might be in the wrong in this. Honestly, it's just not a good look. Ilia says the difference between you and me is that I am a man and you are a coward. I speak and fight, you talk and hide. Run away far, leaving no trace. And then he says, you are a little boy at the end. I mean, yeah, look, he calls Islam a coward. I understand the argument. I understand people saying, again, but how is Islam ducking Ilia when he's moving up to fight JDM, which could be seen as a harder fight? But even though that's contradictory, because I've seen people saying, "Oh, he's gonna sub JDM," and I've seen people say he's gonna sub JDM. I think JDM fucks him up badly, and I also think Ilia would have fucked him up badly too. Nonetheless, it's just annoying to me that this narrative. that he shouldn't have had to fought Ilia, and it's just a fight that the fans wanted to see, man. You know, when you start doing it's as if like there's a certain portion of the fans that don't want good things to happen to the UFC. Honestly. Oh, but he has to earn it. Why not just say, yeah, I'd be down to see this. Imagine, I truly believe if all of the fans universally rallied, even the Islam Makhachev fans rallied behind this fight, it would have happened. Because clearly Makhachev reads social media. If he's so bothered by the fact that people are saying his best wins are featherweights, he obviously is bothered by, he obviously is online, he reads social media. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't even be surprised if this is his tweet and not Ali Abdelaziz's tweet. Even though, oh, they're so humble, brother. They're so humble, right? But they talk trash. Like when Khabib called Conor McGregor a chicken. And anyways. It's just crazy. It's just crazy to me that, yeah, there's like a portion of fans that don't want good things to happen in the UFC. There's a portion of fans that really legitimately were rooting for Ankalaev to decision Pereira. Yeah, we want Ankalaev to... Now, I know Ankalaev, to his credit, is trying to actually fight at 317. And apparently Pereira and Yuri have both said no. So credits him for that. That's cool. Shout out to him. But cool, he wants to be active, but he's still boring. Yeah, both can be true. He can still be an active fighter, and I'll give him respect for that, but he could still also be a pretty boring fighter. And people will convince you Ankalaev's not boring. Why? Because he knocked out Johnny Walker. He knocked out Johnny Walker, so he's not boring. Okay. And he almost KO'd Pereira, quote unquote. Almost KO'd him. And he landed a nice teep kick to Pereira in round 2. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that there's just a section of fans that they root for guys like Ian Gary. You know, I was shitting on Ian Gary and I had comments like, you're just mad because Ian Gary's a winner. What? Like, what? So I can't even believe there's a world where there's Ian Gary fans. Like shout out to Ian Gary. Like, no, fuck Ian Gary. Don't shout him out. But look, he's a cool fighter. He has good fights. But my point is, I truly think this fight slipped in our hands. And it's sad. We're never going to get it. Which is why I don't understand why they're talking trash about each other. This fight is not happening. This fight is never happening. We can discuss, you know, Ilia claiming in this fucking tweet, this super villain of a man. Ilia Topuria is asked if he'd consider moving up to 170. He said, of course not. Of course, why not? Imagine if he just said, fuck no. Of course, why not? It depends. If the fans want to see me fight at welterweight and there's a champion the company has at the moment, why not? I fight to entertain people. Obviously, I also have to be motivated by the challenge. So I'm not closing the door. If the opportunity arises and there's an exciting fight, I'll be there. What I hope is that the other party is also not willing to make excuses, but to back up what they're saying. So he's willing to chase Makhachev at welterweight, boys. No, honestly though, I don't know. It's one of those. I don't know how he do at 170. I have to see how he does at 155, bro. And I think it would take at least 2 years, 3 years for him to like build into 155 properly. Then maybe you can think about moving to 170, but like, come on, Ilia, you fucking psychopath. This dude's a supervillain, man. But again, my general point is just, I think Ilia Topuria, Islam Makhachev, it's never happening unless Ilia moves up to welterweight. But then at that point, Islam will just move to 185 or he'll just retire. Like, it's one of those things where, again, the whole thing of like, Islam's not ducking. I've seen so many different excuses. I've seen, Islam's not ducking. He just wanted Ilia to fight another contender. You guys like don't like understand that wouldn't have worked because Islam, I've explained this. He wanted to move up fast, really fast. He wanted to move up ASAP. Ilia had just moved up, but it's clear he'd vacated his featherweight belt. The UFC is going to give him something. They're going to give him something, you know? They're going to give him something nice. And it's one of those things where it's like, do you really want to try to risk this fight not happening by having Ilia, let's say, fight Justin Gaethje first? It's just crazy. And even if he would have beat Justin Gaethje, what would have the narrative been then? Oh, he beat a wash Justin Gaethje. Good for him. He still needs to fight Arman Sarukian first. That's exactly what they would have said. And then he KOs Arman and is like, all right, well, Well, Islam's already at 170, so you can chase him at 170 if you really want that fight. So it's just like, did you guys not want this fight? I don't understand. I really don't understand. Like, take your I'm an Islam Makhachev fan biased glasses off for a second. It's just, I don't know. I don't even know what to say anymore. I think there is an argument to be made, and I've made this argument myself. Obviously, a little bit of clickbait has played into it with some of my past videos saying that Islam is ducked. Obviously, there's a bit of clickbait there, I'll be honest. But I have to just be honest, right? I mean, fuck, you know what I mean? I'm trying to make a living off this shit too. But at the same time, I mean, yeah, you can consider it ducking. You can consider it ducking when it's the fight the fans are screaming for you to have, screaming for you to make. And on top of that, before he decided to move up, his coach was talking about, hey, Islam Paddy would interest me. Habib was talking about, hey, the Arman fight interests me more than the Ilia fight. That ship is, I think the Arman fight is sailed. That ship is, and that's another contender we would have liked to seen Islam fight Arman. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but we'll never see Islam Arman again. We'll never see Islam Ilia. We'll never see Islam Paddy. All because he had to move up. Right now, he had to move up. JDM just won his belt. I would have really preferred we just have gotten Ilia versus Islam at 317. Islam, we know he's been training. We know he's not injured. We know his last fight was in January he took 0 damage. It's not rocket science. Like, you could have just fought the fucking guy, man. Fight him at 317, beat him. Who cares what the fans say, Islam? You seem like you're too chronically online if you really care about what the fans say about you beating a featherweight. Islam needs to put his fucking Twitter down then if he's going to cry about, oh, the fans are just going to say I beat another featherweight. Bro, put your phone down then, you bum. Go train. Bro, go train in the mountains, bro. The fuck you reading Twitter fans? Because real fans, people that really care about the sport, with logic, would not say that. No one who's a real fan of MMA and of the UFC would say, look at Islam losing to another featherweight. No one who's like a real fan would say that. Only trolls would say that, honestly. Look at Islam beating another featherweight. Only trolls would say that, man. It's crazy. It's just crazy, man. Not fighting Ilia, the fight we've all wanted to face JDM. Who I think JDM beats Islam, to be honest. But I wouldn't say JDM is a much harder fight for Islam or it's a much tougher opponent. Because I've seen, again, I mentioned this earlier, but I've seen people say that. Whoa, how did he duck Islam? How did he duck Ilia to face JDM? JDM is basically a bigger version of Ilia. Not really. Ilia has more proven grappling than JDM. Striking-wise, they're not even really the same. I mean, I would say Ilia is still a better boxer than JDM, but JDM mixes in his kicks very well. And he's more unproven than Ilia, At this point, before the Bilal fight, his best win was Gilbert Burns. Ilia's best win, sorry, did I say his best fight? His best win, excuse me. Before the Bilal fight, his best win was Gilbert Burns. Ilia's best wins are Max Holloway and Volkanovski. Submitted a grappler and Bryce Mitchell. Destroyed Jai Herbert at lightweight. Jai Herbert's a bum, but my point is, man, Ilia's got a fucking sweet resume. By the time JDM won that belt, Ilia had already KO'd Max and Volk back-to-back. He has a much more proven track record of fighting at a high level than JDM. I think Islam sees that. I think he's very confident. He's not going to have a size advantage over JDM. I've already broken down that fight. If you want to check that out, it's just scroll. You'll see it. You'll find it. But yeah, that's really about it. I mean, if we could talk about this at the end. Ilia says Islam's a hypocrite. We don't have to watch the video, but we can read it. I've been here for fucking 34 minutes. This is wow. I'm not editing nothing out. I don't care. Islam is the biggest hypocrite I've ever seen. He said he didn't want to give me the opportunity because I was the little guy, and now the little guy is the one looking for the same opportunity I was looking for. Ali should thank me for not beating his star. That's the fight everyone wanted to see. I put everything I could on the table, and they ran away. He vacated his featherweight belt, I know he said he couldn't make weight anymore, but why chase Islam if someone runs away? If you don't have to bully them, I don't want to fight people who don't want to fight me neither. Yeah. It's just crazy. He said he didn't want to give me an opportunity because I was the little guy, and now the little guy is the one looking for the same opportunity I was looking for. I mean, yeah, I mentioned that, but like, you're going to move up, you're going to fight JDM, but you didn't want to give Ilia the chance to fight you, and now you've just relinquished your belt. Whether he was stripped or relinquished it is whatever, but now you're not a fucking champion. Now, you know what I mean? Now we never got the chance to see Islam potentially lose his belt to a top contender. And we never will, because he just relinquished his belt, or he was stripped of it, whatever the case may be. We were robbed of that because he had to face JDM so badly, really. You couldn't just face Ilia. You really couldn't face Ilia at 317. It's crazy. It's a form of ducking. I'll concede to that. It may not be full-blown John Jones level ducking, but it is a form of conducting, a form of ducking. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Make sure you guys like and sub. This might be the longest, most straightforward rant I've ever done. I've never went this long. Pause. I'm not editing shit out. I don't care. This is going to be a one-take rant, so enjoy it. Become a member in the description. Like and sub. Are you guys Team Ilia or Islam in this argument? I already know there's going to be a lot more Ilia Topuria haters and Islam Makhachev fans in my comments. I don't really care. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to the haters and supporters. God bless you all. Peace.